Hello, this is John from TC Math Academy, and what I have for you here is a nice, lovely geometry word problem. But as you may know, oftentimes when you're solving a geometry problem, you will need to use some algebra. So that's why typically geometry is taken after 1 year of algebra. But anyways, I don't want to give you too many hints as I want you to have a full opportunity to solve this problem. Let me go ahead and read you the question. It says, an angle is 40 degrees larger than its supplement. What are the angles in question? So if you can figure this out, go ahead and put your answer into the comment section. I'll show you the correct answer in just 1 second. And then, of course, I'm going to solve this problem step by step. Also, if you need math help with the course you're taking, test prep, or homeschooling, make sure to check out my math help program at tcmathacademy.com. You can find a link to that in the description below. And if this video helps you out, don't forget to like and subscribe, as that definitely helps me out. Now, before we kind of really get into this question, okay, it's obvious that we're going to need to know what this word here means, supplement, and then of course we're going to need to know a strategy. So I'll answer all of this, but let's go ahead and take a look at the answer. So what are the angles in question? So here are the angles: 70 degrees and 110 degrees. These are supplementary angles. And if you don't know what that means, obviously I'll explain that. But if you got this correct, that is fantastic. Matter of fact, let's give you a nice little happy face, and A plus, a 100%, and a few stars so you can tell your friends and family that you definitely know a thing or two about supplementary angles, and you probably know something about complementary angles as well. So this is kind of basic geometry concepts. Now, many of you won't see this until, let's say, like a high school level geometry course. But again, this is not that complicated of stuff. So I'll explain all of this in just 1 second. Now, if you do need help with geometry, if you're already confused and you know you're going to need some real geometry help, definitely suggest my full geometry course. Again, you can find that at my Math Help program. All right, let's go ahead and get into the problem. Now, obviously, we're dealing with some sort of word problem here. So I kind of have what I call the rule of three. Before you solve any math word problem, read it at least 3 times before you start writing things down. Just, you got to be a little bit patient, right? So the first thing you want to do is read the problem. We already read the problem. The second time you read the problem, try to start painting more of a detailed picture. And then the third time, really hone in on what the question is here, okay? So obviously we have an angle, and we're being told that this angle is 40 degrees larger than its supplement. So we need to understand what this word means. And the question is asking, what are the angles? Okay, so we have an angle and the angles supplement. All right. Okay, so now that we kind of read the problem and understand the question, we need to understand this term here, and this is where a lot of people could possibly get confused or confuse this supplement with the complement. Okay, so let's take a look at what it means to have supplementary angles. It's super simple. Basically, two angles are supplementary if their sum is 180 degrees and they're adjacent. Okay, so basically I got this angle and this angle. You can see if this angle plus this angle will be 180 degrees. If you have two angles that add up to 90 degrees, two adjacent angles like this, 1 and 2, these would be complementary angles. But the situation we're talking about right here is supplementary. Okay, so the angle and its supplement add up to 180 degrees. Okay, so with that, you're now taken care of, right? If you were kind of confused about that, you're like, I could do this problem if I only knew what supplement was, or if I forgot what that was. So now that you know, okay, go ahead and see if you could do, pause the video and see if you could do the rest of this on your own. Okay, you should always try to do that. You don't want to watch me do the solution to be like, oh, okay, that's what I would have done. Well, you never know until you challenge yourself, right? But let's go ahead and get into the problem now. All right, so now that we understand what supplementary angles is. Now we have an angle, okay, and we're being told that an angle is 40 degrees larger than its supplement. Okay, what are the angles? So we're looking for some unknown values. Again, you need to be thinking algebra, right? So if you're like, oh yes, I'm trying to find some unknown values, I need to use algebra And if you try to find an unknown value with algebra, what you're really kind of thinking about is that you need to construct an equation, right? That's how most of these problems work. So you're going to have to pull this information out and construct an equation. Okay, so let's go ahead and just establish a variable. So we're talking about some angle. So let's just assign the variable x as that angle. So we'll let x equal the angle. Now, if x is the angle, what would be the supplement of that angle? All right, so let's say we had something like this. Just a little picture could help you out, right? So if this is angle x, what is the supplement? This would be the supplement right here, right, of angle x, given that this is a line. Well, to get this angle, all we need to do is subtract the angle away from 180 degrees, right? So 180 minus x will give us this angle here. So this would be the supplement, all right? So this is the next part of this problem. So here is the angle, okay? And this would be its supplement 180 minus x. So angle and 180 minus x. Okay, so now that we have some variables here, some variable expressions, now what we need to do is connect the dots by reading the rest of the problem. So this part of the problem comes into play. So an angle is, now again in algebra, hopefully you recall that is equivalent to the equal sign. So an angle is equal to, okay, or an angle is 40 degrees larger than its supplement. So now we have to piece this together and construct an equation, right? So an angle is 40 degrees larger than its supplement, all right? So where's the supplement? Well, this is the supplement. So this angle is going to be 40 degrees larger, right? So this can get very confusing. So let's go ahead and kind of piece it together right here, okay? So here is the angle, right? Now, the way I kind of wrote it right here can be confusing. So let me just kind of erase this here. So here is the supplement, okay? Here is the angle, right? When we talked about x being the angle, right? But this angle is 40 degrees larger than the supplement. Well, where's the supplement of this angle? It's right here. This is the supplement, okay? But the angle is 40 degrees larger than the supplement. So 40 degrees larger than the supplement is 40 plus this expression, which represents the supplement. That is the angle. Okay, so this is another confusing part of this equation. Now, if you're new to my YouTube channel, I do a ton of videos on translating verbal phrases into variable or algebraic expressions, okay? Because this comes up over and over again in various types of math word prompts. Now, if you are a subscriber and you watch some of those videos, hopefully that has helped you out. And by the way, thank you very much. If you are a subscriber, and if you're not, go ahead and click that subscribe button. I try to deliver a lot of math content. Pretty much I'm posting pretty much every day, I suspect, as I'm so passionate about math and I never run out of math problems to do. All right, so here is this equation now. Okay, so hopefully you understand how we constructed it. Now, the only thing left to do is to actually solve this for x. So let's go and do that right now. So yeah, 180 minus x plus 40 is equal to x. Pretty simple stuff. We're going to go and subtract x from both sides of the equation. That'll give us 220 minus 2x. I'm kind of skipping a step here. Of course, we can combine these numbers. 180 and 40 is 220. I subtract x from both sides. I get negative 2x is equal to 0. Now, of course, you could have brought this x over here. That would have been simpler, but either way, you'll get there. So we have 220 minus x is equal to 0, or 220 is equal to 2x. That's what we have here. And then to solve for x, all we need to do is divide both sides of the equation by 2, and you get x is equal to 110. Now that I look at this, it would have been much easier for me just to add x from both sides and have the 2x over here. But nevertheless, as long as you're taking the correct steps when you're solving an algebraic equation, you won't break the equation, and ultimately you'll end up at the right solution. Okay, so x is our angle. That's 110, right? So how do we find the supplement? Well, we can just kind of visualize it, right? So here is our little graph, or our little kind of figure, right? So if 110 is the angle, its supplement's got to be 70, because all of this is 180 degrees. So just take that angle, 110, subtract it away from 180, and there you go, 70 degrees. So those are the angles, and this problem here is a very classic type of geometry problem. You will see this on various geometry chapter test, midterms, final exams. You probably see something like this on the SAT, ACT if you got to take one of those exams. So this is a classic type of word problem. So for me, I've been teaching math for decades. You see the classic problems, if you will. I probably did something like this way back in the good old 1980s. I don't remember because I was not a great math student. I wasn't a great student at all in high school. I was one of those people that was just distracted. I didn't take academics too seriously. It wasn't until after I joined the United States Marine Corps where I got highly motivated to start actually, focusing on what I want to do in life. So wherever your starting point is, so if you're like me, if you've been maybe not the best academic student, listen, you can always change your ways, right? So don't get discouraged. But if you want to be successful in algebra and geometry, you do have to be focused and committed. Again, if you need help with this stuff, this specific type of geometry, check out my full geometry course at my Math Help program. But with that being said, I definitely wish you all the best in your mathematics adventures. Thank you for your time and have a great day.